She walks into a faculty meeting, pulls out a gun, and opens fire. Colleagues, people she's worked with for years, never saw it coming. But here's the twist. This wasn't the first time Professor Amy Bishop pulled the trigger. Decades before the shooting that shocked a university, she killed someone else. So, how did she stay under the radar for so long, and why did no one stop her? Let's recap. It's February 12th, 2010, a regular Friday afternoon on the University of Alabama in Huntsville campus. Amy Bishop, biology professor, wife, mother of 4, is sitting in a small faculty conference room with 12 colleagues. They're in a staff meeting just like any other week, but this time, Amy brought a gun. Right in the middle of the meeting, without warning, she stands up and starts shooting. She fires round after round. 3 of her colleagues are killed on the spot. 3 others are badly injured. And when her gun jams, that's the only thing that stops the massacre. And here's the part that stuns everyone. From there, Amy heads to the bathroom like nothing happened. She doesn't run. She doesn't hide. She's arrested minutes later outside the building. But as cops dig into her past, they find out this isn't the first time someone ended up dead after crossing paths with Amy. The first victim was her own brother. Let's rewind to 1986. Amy Bishop is 21, living at home with her parents in Braintree, Massachusetts. A smart kid, Harvard-bound. But one afternoon, something really strange happens inside that house. First, Amy fires a shotgun upstairs right into her bedroom wall. Then she heads downstairs. That's where her younger brother, Seth, is standing in the kitchen. And that's when Amy fires again. This time the blast hits Seth in the chest. He's just 18, a star student, a violin prodigy, and he dies on the floor of their home. But this is where the story goes from tragic to just plain bizarre. Instead of calling 911, Amy grabs the shotgun and runs. She heads straight to a nearby car dealership, bursts in waving the gun and demanding a getaway car. Tells the workers she needs it to escape her angry, abusive husband. They refuse. No one hands over keys. So Amy runs out to the lot and starts looking for a car to steal. That's when police show up, and now it's a standoff. She's pointing the shotgun at officers, refusing to drop it. It takes 3 commands before she finally lowers the weapon. So, how is she not arrested? That's the million-dollar question. Police never book her. She's not fingerprinted, not charged. And just like that, her brother's death is ruled an accident. Days later, it's dropped. No charges, nothing. So, why? Well, get this. Amy's mother was the only witness that day. She told police her daughter was just trying to figure out how to use the shotgun. Said Amy fired it into her bedroom wall by mistake, then came downstairs to ask for help unloading it. That's when it accidentally went off again, this time killing her younger brother Seth. And after that statement, officers were reportedly told not to book Amy. They let her go right back to her parents. And just like that, a future mass shooter walks away. No arrest, no accountability. You'd think she'd stay out of trouble after that, but no. Just a few years later, her name comes up again. This time, it's about a bomb. Yeah, like mailing someone a bomb. It's 1993. She's married, a mother, and working at a children's hospital in Boston. She's a postdoc researcher from Harvard. Brilliant, ambitious, and furious. She'd just been told she wasn't getting a permanent spot in the neurobiology lab. According to reports, she didn't take the news well. Then, just days later, a mysterious package shows up on her boss's doorstep. It's a cardboard box with no return address. This is during the height of the Unabomber attacks, and people are on edge. So when he sees the box, he's suspicious. Instead of opening it like normal, he grabs a knife and carefully cuts out the top. It's the move that saves his life, because inside the box are 2 pipe bombs, and they were rigged to explode the second those cardboard flaps were lifted. If he'd opened it the usual way, he'd be dead. The bomb squad confirms this was not a prank. It was real, and it was intended to kill. And guess whose name comes up during the investigation? Amy Bishop. She had a motive, she had access, and she reportedly asked someone at a hardware store how to mix dangerous chemicals. But here's the thing. No charges were ever filed. The case went cold, just like the investigation into her brother's death 7 years earlier. And yet again, Amy walks away. To the outside world, she has it all figured out. A PhD, a prestigious career in science, a husband, kids. But behind that polished Ivy League image is a woman barely holding it together. In 2002, 8 years before the campus shooting, she had a full-blown meltdown at a pancake house. It's Sunday morning. She's at IHOP in Peabody, Massachusetts with her family. She asks for a booster seat for one of her kids, but the last one's already taken. Another mom has it. And Amy absolutely loses it. According to the police report, she marches straight over to the woman and demands the seat back. When the other mom won't give it up, Amy goes on a profanity-laced tirade, and then she punches the woman in the head. Witnesses say she was screaming, "I am Dr. Amy Bishop," like that title gave her the right to attack someone over a booster seat. There was no weapon, but the rage, it was already there. She grew up in Braintree, just outside Boston. Her mother was active in local politics. Her father was an art professor at Northeastern University. She married James Anderson, another scientist back in the late 80s. They met playing Dungeons and Dragons in college and stayed together as her academic career took off. The two eventually had 4 children and settled in Alabama, where Amy taught biology at the University of Alabama in Huntsville. To friends and neighbors, she was intense, brilliant, maybe a little odd, but nothing that screamed dangerous. She was known to be ambitious, very ambitious, and fiercely competitive. At work, one colleague said she was the kind of person you crossed the street to avoid. She was denied tenure because her research and publication record was lacking. It was a huge blow for someone who had built her identity around being the smartest person in the room. She appealed, she fought, but she lost. And with that came the end of her academic dream. Without tenure, her job would end when the semester was over. That's when she started doing target practice at a local firing range. On the day she brought a gun to campus, she taught her regular classes, anatomy, biology, just like any other Friday. Students said she acted totally normal, calm, focused, nothing seemed off. Then came the faculty meeting. She sat there for 30 to 40 minutes, didn't say much, didn't make a scene, just sat, quiet. Then, right before 4 p.m., she stands up, pulls out a handgun, turns to the person sitting closest to her, and fires. Just like that, she goes down the row, shooting each person in the head, execution style. Those seated across from her dove to the floor. Thankfully, her gun jammed as she was about to come for them. 3 brilliant minds gone, just like that. Dr. Gopi Podia, the department chair, beloved by students, known for his warmth and leadership. Dr. Maria Davis, an accomplished scientist who returned to Alabama to give back to her community. And Dr. Adriel Johnson, a professor who mentored countless students and was passionate about minority representation in science. 3 lives cut short, 3 families shattered, and 3 other colleagues left wounded and traumatized. No one ever imagined one of their own would turn on them. When police arrested her outside the science building, she wasn't crying, she wasn't panicking, she was calm. Too calm. And then she said something that still haunts investigators to this day. She looked up at the officer and asked, "It didn't happen, did it? They're still alive?" Then she asked for a lawyer and said she didn't remember pulling the trigger. Later, during questioning, she complained about how unfair the tenure process had been. She told officers she was upset with her colleagues, felt wronged, betrayed, and when they searched her purse, they found more bullets. She was prepared to do more damage. It took 2 years, but in 2012, 47-year-old Amy Bishop finally faced justice. She's charged with capital murder, and prosecutors make it clear they're going for the death penalty. But just before trial, Amy strikes a deal. She pleads guilty to avoid execution and gets life in prison without parole. And then, in a heartbreaking twist of fate, her past came full circle. In April 2021, her only son, Seth, was shot and killed. Seth, named after the brother she killed back in 1986. He was 20 years old. According to police, he was hanging out in a car with friends when one of them, an 18-year-old, started messing around with a gun. It went off, and Seth was gone. Another young life lost to a bullet, almost the exact same age as his uncle was when he died in that kitchen decades earlier. 2 generations, same name, same ending. And Amy Bishop, serving life in prison, got the news from behind bars. These days, she's still locked up at a medium security prison in Alabama, and as recently as 2024, she's still trying to appeal her sentence, still trying to walk away, but every time, denied. The system let her slip through the cracks once, but not this time. Amy Bishop is never getting out. So what do you think? Did the warning signs go ignored for too long? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and hit that subscribe button. I'm Chris. Amy and I have more crime and half the time coming your way every week. Until next time, take care.